Namaste. I, JVN Sheetal Singh, Assistant Professor at Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur, in Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science. So, this is the continuation of the Unit 3rd topic, skeleton muscles relaxant. So in the previous video, we have studied many about the skeleton muscle relaxant. Now we will see a review of skeleton muscle relaxant. Mainly for the pain management they are used. Now, although grouped under a single drug class, skeleton muscles relaxant are a heterogeneous group of structure, unrelated medication with variable pharmacological and safety profile. Skeleton muscle relaxant are commonly used to treat two conditions. First is spasticity and local muscle skeleton spasm or pain. The approximately 2 million peoples are there which are over 60 years of age and are prescribed by the muscle relaxant. So the spasticities and the spasm are distinct etiologies and each condition responds differently to certain medication. Spasticity is the disorder of motor neuron that manifests the increased muscle tone and stiffness. Spasms are involuntary, localized muscle contraction that arise from the acute trauma or muscle strain. Although antispasmodic and antispasticity agent generally are not interchangeable. For example, diazepam, Valium is approved by the FDA for the both condition. In this, we will see the etiology and the treatment option for the painful spasmicity and the muscle spasm. So the skeletal muscle system is the two type of motor neuron regulate the skeletal muscle excitability. Upper motor neuron UMNS, which originate from the cerebral cortex, and lower motor neurons, and LMNS, which originate in the spinal cord and the brain stem. UNMS intervade the LNMS in the spinal cord where they directly intervade the skeleton muscles and in the brain stem, cranial nerves, where they intervade the facial nerve muscles. Now, UMNS can stimulate or inhibit the skeleton muscles contraction by direct intervention of LMNS. So, UMN lessons can result in muscles weakness, spasticity, or both. LNMN lessons may develop into the muscles weakness and paralysis. How skeleton muscles contract. A single alpha motor neuron can innervate up to 200 muscle fiber, forming a complex called motor figure. With movement and action potential originate from the UMN in the motor cortex. This action potential depolarize the motor neurons. So the ACH bind to nicotine cholinergic receptor on the muscle fiber membrane, leading to an influx of the sodium and a discharge of potassium across the muscle fibers membrane, which result in depolarization of muscle fiber. This depolarization opens the voltage gate calcium channel on the sarcoplasmic reticulum. So, which allowing the calcium influx into the cytoplasm of straight muscle cells. The calcium then bind to the troponin C, which expose myosin binding site on actin fiber, a crosslink formed between the actin and myosin, leading to the muscle contraction. The pumping of calcium ions back into the sarcoplasmic reticulum using the adenosine triphosphate, leading to sensation of the contraction. So the neuromuscular system, there are two pathways that regulate the skeleton muscle excitability and the contraction. The monosynaptic and polysynaptic reflex pathway. The monosynaptic reflex afferent signals from the muscle cell return to spinal cord, resulting in negative feedback on the motor movements. The Golgi tendons, a sensory receptor organ, sense muscles tension and send an inhibitory signal to the spinal cord. In the polysynaptic reflex type 1A, afferent neurons synapses on inhibitory neurons in the dorsal horns and inhibit the contraction of the targeted area. For example, if a person touch a hot surface, the brain send an excitatory signal to stimulate the bicep muscles to contract, allowing for the desired motion and then sending an inhibitory signal. Now the spasticity. Spasticity is defined as the velocity depend increase in muscle tone caused by the increased excitability of the muscle stretch reflex. Clinical manifestation include muscle stiffness, co-contraction of flexural and extensoros, and increase the resistance to the muscle stretching. The etiology of plasticity is not fully known, but it thought to be due to excessive stimulation or lack of inhibition of alpha motor neuron, leading to increase the muscle tone. Plasticity is associated with increased activity of excitatory neurotransmitters or decreased activity of inhibitory neurotransmitters. Caused by cause of plasticity include the multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, spinal cord injury, and traumatic brain injury, and post-stroke syndrome. So now the antispasticity medication reduce the muscle tone by acting either on the central nervous system or directly on skeletal muscles. Agents that work on the CNS include baclofen, are like gabapentin, leorelizole, and other, and Xenaflex, gabapentin, pregabalin, Lyrica, and benzodiazepine are diazepine are other, and these all are the example, whereas the peripheral agents include the dantrium, rivono, and others. Now the central agents. Baclofen is a structure analog of the GABA that bind to the GABA receptor, which are coupled to presynaptic and postsynaptic calcium and potassium channel. Therefore, baclofen acts presynaptically and postsynaptically to inhibit the spinal reflexes. Presynaptic activation of GABA B receptor result in hyperpolarization and decreased calcium influx, which reduce glutamate release, leading to decrease in alpha motor neuron activity. Postsynaptic activation of GABA B increase the potassium conduction in the IA and afferent neuron terminal, hyperpolarizing the membrane and enhancing the presynaptic inhibition. Baclofen also is thought to inhibit substance P released into the spinal cord, which may induce pain. Baclofen is available as an oral medication and an intrathecal injection for use in the intrathecal pump. The lateral form is reserved for cases of severe spasticity. Common side effects include dry mouth, transient sedation that subside the chronic use. Withdrawal syndromes has been reported following acute stoppage of enteral and oral baclofen. Symptoms associated with withdrawal of baclofen include the auditory and visual hallucination, delirium, anxiety, fever, tremor, tachycardia, and potential seizure. Now, the tizanidine is a centrally act alpha-2 agonist that is structurally similar to clonidine. Tizidine inhibits the presynaptic release of the excitatory neurotransmitter, reducing the excitability of the postsynaptic alpha motor neuron. In addition, tizidine can potentiate the action of glycine. Tizidine has been shown to suppress the polysynaptic reflex and reduce abnormal co-contraction of opposing muscles group. Tizidine also has been evaluated as an adjunct for the prophylaxis of several types of headache, include migraine and the tension headache. Now, the AE include in this the use of tizidine is weakness, dry mouth, increased spasm or tone, hypotension, and mild liver function test elevation. Withdrawal symptoms include reflex tachycardia, hypertension, hypertonicity, tremor, anxiety has been reported. To minimize the withdrawal symptom, the manufacturer recommends that the dose be trapped slowly 2 to 4 mg per day, especially in the patient receiving higher dose, greater than 20 mg per day for long period of time like greater than 9 weeks. Now, the gabapentinols. The gabapentinols are anticonvulsant medication that have shown a benefit in the antispasticity agent in studies in evaluating the patient with the spine cord injury. Both gabapentin and pregabalin inhibit the alpha-2 GABA subunit of L-type voltage gate calcium ion channel, which are thought to inhibit the glutamate release. Both agents have demonstrated efficacy in treatment of neuropathy, pain, and spasticity in the patient with MS. Gabapentin has shown to have a dose-related efficacy in control spasticity at the doses of 1200 mg to 36 mg. Gabapentin has variable individual bioavailability. So the role of gabapentinols as monotherapy for plasticity remain unclear. They may be beneficial adjacent in the patient who have plasticity and neuropathic pain. Now, the diazepam. Diazepam is a benzodiazepine that is approved by FDA for the treatment of spasticity and the muscle spasm. Diazepam bind to the GABA receptor and potentiate the GABAergic activity by increasing the chloride conductance, which result in the presynaptic inhibition in the spinal cord. Diazepam have demonstrated efficacy in the management of spasticity associated with spinal cord injury and MS. However, it is not often recommended as a first-line agent due to risk of sedation and the potential of dependence or abuse. Diazepam is metabolized to the active metabolites and temazepam and oxazepam, at last two of which are available commercially. A include the lethargy, sedation, withdrawal symptoms can occur with abrupt sensation, and diazepam may lead to seizures. So this is all about this. Hope you will understand the practical pain management, PPM. So now let's see some questions. So your question arises here as what is skeletal muscle relaxant and how you will manage the pain. So write about the pain management also. Second is, what is UMNS and LMNS? Third question is, how skeletal muscles contract. Draw with diagram. Next question is, write two pathway of neuromuscular system. What is the difference between spasticity and spasm? Write about the GABA receptor. So these are the some questions you have to be prepared. So these are very important questions. Hope you will understand the full video. For any query, you can comment below. Thank you and namaste.